Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the opening ceremonies. Color Guard, advance the colors. Color Guard, halt. Scout salute, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Scout sign, please join me in the Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, and to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. 2. Color Guard, post the colors. Everyone, please be seated. My name is Rachel Lunt, Senior Patrol Leader of Troop 1885. I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for coming. Our Master of Ceremonies for today is Calla Lieberstead.
Good afternoon. I'd like to invite the Honor Guard to please escort Eagle candidates Abigail Siebe-Walles, Eliana Siebe-Walles, and Rebecca Wright to the stage. Today we have the honor and pleasure of recognizing 3 candidates for the award of Eagle rank. This is an important and serious matter. In full awareness of the challenge of these times, the parents and leaders of these candidates have labored long and faithfully to develop them to be alert and to participate in citizenship through the Scouting program. Their efforts culminate today in the presentation of the Eagle Scout Medal. The success of these efforts will become evident in the way these Eagle Scouts will set their social pattern for all the lives they may touch. Democracy is a fresh conquest for each generation. When a person becomes a Boy Scout, there should be instilled within them that which we call the spirit of scouting. This lighted candle symbolizes that spirit. Because the spirit of scouting embodies the fine principles of the Scout Oath and Law, it becomes a shining beacon of inspiration. Alone, this light may be feeble, but when multiplied by the millions of scouts in scouting, it can become very powerful indeed. After a person has entered scouting, the Scout law that they have promised to obey is put into effect as occasions may demand, and so, one by one, the symbols that stand for the parts of the Scout law are lighted. There are 12 parts, all important and meaningful. Each is an important cornerstone in the building of a strong character. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And finally, in the 3 points of the Scout Oath, which we heard during the opening ceremony, she promises on her honor to do her best to do her duty. First to God and her country. Then, second to others by helping other people at all times. And third to herself by keeping herself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. You see how the light from the spirit of scouting grows and becomes stronger. These, in outline, are the basic ideals of scouting to which each scout subscribes when they become a Boy Scout. The pathway to Eagle can be described as a steep trail. Along that trail are 6 steps, the ranks of scouting that you had to pass on the trail. It is fitting that you look back before you go on to other challenges to see what you have accomplished. These experiences should not be forgotten. You should benefit from them. Remember your first trip along that steep trail? At first, you were called Scout by your troopmates.
Remember when you received the Scout badge, you learned the trefoil shape was to resemble the Meridian compass, as it would always point you along the true path. It had 3 points, which you learned, like the 3 fingers of the Scout sign, were for the 3 points of the Scout oath.
Remember when you took those first steps up the long scouting trail? You began to build yourself physically, mentally, and morally by learning the Scout oath and law. Before you knew it, you were a tenderfoot Scout.
Your Scout badge was replaced by the badge of a tenderfoot. It still pointed you in the right direction, but added were the 2 stars which represented the truth and knowledge you had gained in scouting. Also was the bald eagle, our national symbol. You learned from the shield on the eagle's breast that the freedom of America is not without the cost, that it must be defended.
Soon you set out for another ledge. There you were greeted by a group of second-class Scouts.
The second-class badge showed you a scroll with your motto, "Be prepared." Its ends were turned up into a smile, and that is what you were to do, as the bottom knot reminded you to do a good turn daily, which is the Scout slogan.
You continued onward. You studied, and before you realized it, you had come to a new ledge, one where first-class Scouts dwell.
Your first class badge showed you that it was time to put everything you had learned this far together, and this is what you did. You found that the trail to first class had not been all that difficult. You wanted to learn more in scouting, so you continued onward, earning specific skills through merit badges.
Your next step was to become a Star Scout.
The star badge, a golden star, was to symbolize your new role as a leader. You were called upon to be a guiding light in the darkness for those who were to follow. No longer were you receiving scouting, but now you were expected to teach new skills to others.
Now the trail was steeper. Leadership was challenging and also hard work, but you persevered, climbing the steep trail. Soon it led you to life rank.
The badge of life, a pure red heart on a golden field, was to show all the world the path you had chosen. True to the ideals of scouting, you had gained an inner confidence that was to prepare you for the rest of your life.
The trail became even tougher, but more interesting. You thought, now I'm close to the eagle. I will carry on. The troop has watched you as you have worked towards your eagle. We have watched your mind develop and your knowledge increase. We have seen you grow in many ways, and now that you are on the threshold of your goal, we welcome you as fellow eagles, for you have done your climbing in a scout-like manner. Would you please light the last candle? This is not the end of the trail, but rather the beginning of a new era in your life. You are now entering a community of dedicated scouts who have not only achieved the Eagle Scout rank, but have made a commitment to the Scout oath and law. You will always be an Eagle Scout and will be expected to conduct yourself accordingly. To attain the highest rank in Scouting, our candidates were active in the troop in their patrols for at least 6 months, showing Scout spirit and leadership. They earned 10 more merit badges for a total of 21, 12 of which were from the required list. They planned, developed, and gave leadership to a service project which was helpful to their school, religious institution, or community. They passed a troop and district board of review. Today, you will witness the presentation of their well-earned award. Now, the candidates will describe their Eagle projects.
My Eagle project was working with an organization known as Muddy Paws Second Chance Rescue. It's an animal rescue group. They primarily do dogs, but they also rescue cats, birds, fish, just about any domestic animal you could have as a pet. So what they do is they actually take in these animals from homes that maybe were abusive or neglectful, or these animals that they found from off the streets, and they place them with foster homes until they can find their new forever family. Unfortunately, a lot of these animals don't get a lot of visibility in the media, and they stay in the program for many years, which can be really, for a dog, I can imagine it can be really hard to not have a home. So my project was, I actually worked with Muddy Paws Second Chance Rescue to create videos of individual dogs and posted them on social media in order to get them more attention and hopefully to get them adopted. So far, as far as I know, 4 of the dogs out of the 12 that I videoed have been adopted, and hopefully more to come.
For my Eagle Scout project, I worked with a local to Omaha organization known as the Youth Mart. They serve young adults in the community who are aging out of foster care and don't necessarily have a support system in place to help them move into adulthood. One of the big things that they do is they collect donations in furniture, clothing, cleaning supplies, cooking supplies, basically anything that you could use to furnish an apartment or a dorm room, and then they give it off to these kids who are aging out of the program. I did this by setting up stations at 2 different locations and by collecting donations both from my troop and from as many different people as I could advertise to. I also collected monetary donations for those who couldn't show up or those who preferred to give directly towards the organization itself. In the end, I collected enough cooking and cleaning supplies specifically to help out more than 50 kids aging out of the program by estimation of the people I worked with, and the monetary donations should stretch that out so that 60 or 70 others can get the help that they need when they are bringing their own life to fruition and moving into adulthood.
My Eagle project served an organization called the Friendship Program, which worked with senior citizens and people with mental disabilities in order to help them achieve and maintain independence in their lives. I built these planter boxes and planted them with flowers for an outdoor garden space that they used as an activity space for their clients. Unfortunately, not too long after I completed my project, the organization ended up closing down, as they were a nonprofit and didn't have the funds to continue. But I know that in the short time that they were used, that they were greatly appreciated by the staff and by the clients.
Thank you. I would like to call upon Assistant Scoutmaster Mike Reddy to give the Eagle Scout charge to these Eagle Scout candidates. Eagle Scouts in the audience and Eagle Scout candidates, please rise.
Candidates, we charge you to enter this Eagle Scout community holding, without reservation, the ideals of honor and service. Repeating the Eagle Scout promise before your fellow members, you will be sealing your eternal loyalty of the Eagle Scout. Scout sign. Repeat the charge after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of the Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best. To make my training, example, rank, and influence. Count strongly for better scouting. And for better citizenship in my troop. In my community. And my contact with other people, always. To this I pledge my sacred honor. 2. Thank you. Eagle Scouts in the audience, please be seated.
Would the parents of these Eagle Scout candidates please stand behind their daughters? The symbol of success is the Eagle Badge. You are all wearing the Eagle Badges with honor. As an adult, you are eligible to wear the Eagle Knot, which I now present to your parents. Your parents will, in turn, pin the knot and medal over your heart. Your parents will also remove the troop neckerchief and replace it with the Eagle Scout neckerchief. In recognition of the many hours of patient guidance given by your parents' efforts, Eagle Scouts, please present your parents with their mother's and father's pins. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce 3 of Troop 1885's first 4 Eagle Scouts, Abigail Siebe-Walles, Eliana Siebe-Walles, and Rebecca Wright. You may now move your names on the rank banner from Life to Eagle. At this point, the new Eagle parents may make a few remarks.
Good afternoon. I want to briefly thank you all for joining us this afternoon. And from the moment that Rebecca asked Abby if she wanted to go camping, this journey has been amazing to watch all of these ladies grow and develop their leadership skills. And I especially want to thank the Scoutmaster and the Assistant Scoutmasters for the time and the love that you've given these Scouts and the direction you've given these Scouts. It's been amazing to be part of this troop. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so when I was told I had to make a few remarks here, my first question was, how much time do I have? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? I looked at Rebecca, I looked at Megan, they looked back to me and said, respectfully, firmly, no, you've got about 1 minute, so I'll try to keep it brief. First of all, thank you everybody for attending, physically here in the church, also online. I also believe we probably have a few international viewers, so special shout out to our international viewers. When I was thinking about how am I going to fill my 1 minute of time, what am I going to talk about? And I thought about how did Rebecca get here? And I thought about that for a few minutes, and then I realized her younger brother, was probably the stone that created a few ripples that ultimately led to Rebecca being here. The story behind that is Ethan, when he was at kindergarten, he came back one day with a flyer in his hand, and he said, I want to do this. And that was kind of noteworthy because Ethan does not often express interest in things. So when he does, our ears pricked up. So we looked at the flyer, and it was Cub Scouts. So we weren't what I would consider a big outdoorsy family, but regardless, so we decided, okay, let's do the Cub Scouts. So Ethan joined the Cub Scouts. He had a lot of fun at Cub Scouts and the various Cub Scout activities. And invariably, Rebecca would be at a lot of these events too. And we saw that not only was Ethan enjoying a lot of these events, but his sister was enjoying these events too. And oftentimes she'd be front and center there in the middle of these activities, and so much so that, there was a few occasions when we had to pull Rebecca aside and say, Rebecca, this is not your event. Let the Cub Scouts go first, Rebecca. So while Ethan was having a good time in Cub Scouts, Rebecca had a few, Rebecca was able to find some of her own adventures with Girl Scouts. And then venturing. Venturing was fun, but it didn't quite fulfill all her adventurous spirit. So then in, I think, 2018, the BSA announced that girls could join Boy Scouts in February of 2019. And I think Rebecca probably thought about this for all of 2 seconds and said, yes, I'm in. I think then she set the goal pretty quickly to become Eagle by October of 2020, because there were certain, she had college coming up, so she wanted to get it done before college really kicked into high gear. Then in February of 2019 arrived, Rebecca had a plan to earn her Eagle Scout within 20 months. So for people who are not super familiar with scouting, when a boy joins Boy Scouts, they typically join at the age of 11, so they have from 11-year-old to 18-year-old to earn the rank of Eagle Scout. They have got luxurious 7 years to earn it. Rebecca's trying to do this thing in 20 months. But, she had a plan, and the plan was executed, and it was successful, which is why she's standing here today. So congratulations. Rebecca is the first Eagle Scout in our family, and I'm looking at you, brother. Hopefully not the last Eagle Scout. We will talk about the Eagle Scout paperwork later on. Rebecca, congratulations on becoming Eagle Scout. We love you. We are very proud of you. We look forward to watching your future adventures.
I'm going to talk too. So thank you for all of you who came here to celebrate in person with Rebecca, Abby, and Ellie. Thank you again to those joining us virtually. This is supposed to be a parent speech, but as I'm the Scoutmaster, I claim rights as Abby and Ellie's Scout mom, and I'm going to talk about all three of them. So, as Adrian was saying, Rebecca grew up around Scouting, and she was all in as soon as the BSA announced that girls would be allowed to join, and she asked me to help her find a troop. And that was not an easy thing. There were not many troops who were committing. So we made our own. And I would be remiss here if I did not specifically thank Marlena Witchell, our chartered organization representative, and Jeff and Amy Gruey, the owners of Arbor Aesthetics, our charter organization. We didn't know each other, and they agreed to take a chance, and that has led to amazing opportunities for so many. We needed 5 scouts to charter a new troop, and Abby and Ellie were numbers 2 and 3. Rebecca told a story about her trip to Philmont Scout Ranch during class one day. Abby said she wanted to go camping with Rebecca sometime, and Rebecca said, well, have I got an opportunity for you. So, as they were headed to college, Rebecca, Abby, and Ellie had to be especially focused on advancing through the ranks, completing their merit badges, and getting their Eagle projects done, all while building the troop and continuing with high school, jobs, and all of their other activities. These are driven young ladies. Then, because they made all of that look so easy, the universe threw a global pandemic at them just for fun. I've watched them with pride as they have tried and struggled, learned, adjusted, and succeeded. They have earned the respect of their fellow scouts, their scout leaders, and the many who have watched them on this journey. Abby, Ellie, and Rebecca, I ask you all to remember that the Eagle Scout rank is never past tense. You are and will always be Eagle Scouts. And all of us here are looking forward to watching you soar. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now the new Eagle Scouts wish to present their mentor pins.
So it's customary for Eagle Scouts to give out one mentor pin, but it's not uncommon for Eagle Scouts to give out 2 or 3. And I knew as soon as I heard about the mentor pin, the first 2 people that came to mind, because I would not be here without these 2 people. And the first person that I'd like to give a mentor pin to has kind of been one of my biggest role models. She has been amazing, and I speak not for myself, not for the 3 of us on stage, but for every single person in the troop when I say that she is probably the best Scoutmaster anybody could hope to ever have. So, Mrs. Wright, I'd like to give you the first mentor pin. And I was just looking at my box, and I had a second mentor pin in there, but I'm not entirely sure what happened to it, so I'll call this person on stage. It's underneath this thing. It's underneath the thing? Oh.
Oh, here it is. There we go. Thanks, Cal.
All right. Now the second person is another really big mentor of mine, hence the mentor pin, but he has taught me a lot about leadership. This person has basically made me who I am today. I would not have the confidence to stand up here and be talking to you. I would not have succeeded as an SPL in my troop without this person. And he always talks about how much I've grown, and that just always means a lot to me to hear him say that. So the second mentor pin I'd like to give is to Mr. Hilwick.
I got a book, guys. If I can find it, that would be fantastic, you know? I would also like to call up 2 of my mentors, because I think they've both equally contributed to my success, both in and out of Eagles. However, I'm going to proceed just a little bit differently, and I'm going to call them up as I talk to them. Would Miss Wright and Mr. Hilwick please step forward? I owe both of you a great deal to my success, as I said earlier, both inside and outside of Scouts. To Miss Wright, thank you for teaching me perseverance. Thank you for teaching me how to be a mentor to others, how to be unwavering both to myself and to the people around me. To you, I owe my generosity and my compassion, my desire to continue teaching throughout my life. To Mr. Hilwick, thank you for teaching me how to be a leader. Thank you for teaching me how to stand tall even under the most arduous of circumstances. To you, I owe my grit and my determination. Thank you. To both of you, thank you for continually challenging me. Thank you for pushing me beyond what I thought I was even capable of. Without either of you, I wouldn't have even come close to achieving the Eagle rank. But most importantly, thank you for always seeing the best in me, even when I couldn't see it in myself. It is my absolute honor to name both of you equally as my mentors to the Eagle rank.
So I just want to say that I am very lucky that my mentor is even around, given the introduction he had to the Wright family in general. The very first thing I said to him, in about as rude of a voice as my 15-year-old self could muster, was, "Can I help you?" Then the next day my mom hit his truck with her car backing out of a parking lot. So not exactly a promising start. But when 1885 was forming in December 2018, his daughter decided to join our troop, and he volunteered to be an assistant scoutmaster. Since then, he has taught me everything I know about leadership, everything I know about mentoring other people, and has inspired me to pay it forward and continue mentoring others, not only in 1885, but in a troop that I have found and connected with in Wisconsin-Madison, where I go to college. So I just want to thank Mr. Howick, my mentor, for everything that he's done, and I promise to make sure that I give better first impressions in the future.
It's yours. Next slide is yours. Emotions always are running high. There will be now open mic time for Scout-related stories about the new Eagle Scouts. If anyone would like to share, moms and dad, please no awkward baby stories, but open mic time for those who wish to share stories about the Scouts. Of course, yeah, I just have to talk. So I don't know, like sometimes these are funny stories. This one's gonna be a little bit more down to earth, I guess, because Scouting has given me some of my favorite high school memories. You can talk to anybody in this troop, people that I work with at summer camp. It's just been an amazing adventure, and some of my favorite memories have involved both Rebecca and Ellie. I'll always treasure spending more time living in a tent with Rebecca than being with my own twin sister and during the summer. And thank you just so much for all of the memories.
I remember when I first joined the troop and we went on our first ever camp out. Even though it wasn't really a camp out, we went and we stayed in a cabin. And I'm like, I don't know any of these people, but I already like them. And now I'm here congratulating some of my best friends on becoming Eagle. And I'm just really happy that I got the chance to be here, period. And now I'm just, thank you for letting me be your friend.
Hello. So, they were kind of some of the most important steps in my scouting journey, I guess. I had no idea what scouting was. All I knew was camping. That's all I knew. And so when I know another scoutmaster in a troop, and he was telling me about it, and he's like, there's this troop starting up, and I'm like, and at the time I didn't care. I was not worried at all. I was not worried about it at all. And then one day he just told me, these people are going to come pick you up and they're going to take you to an open house. And I'm like, okay. So the first scout I'd ever met from Troop 1885 in the most awkward way possible was Rebecca, the person picking me up from my house to go take me to an open house. It was really awkward. I had no idea what was going on, but it was, Rebecca was friendly, greeted me well, and made sure to be as inviting as possible, and that is a great characteristic in any scout. I guess one of the next steps was Abby. Abby was the ASPL at the time. And Abby was teaching knots at that open house. I don't know if she was ASPL yet, but that doesn't matter right now. So she was teaching me knots, and Abby was very friendly, very kind, and was very open and willing to let in anyone. And to this day, Abby and Rebecca are the two people my parents know as are those the people with the pretty red hair in your troop? They barely know their names. The only characteristic is that, so you have nice hair, thank you. That was weird. Anyways, the next big step was Ellie. And Ellie was my first patrol leader. And Ellie was probably terrified, as everyone was, because all these people who barely knew each other were grouped into one room. And Ellie took it very well, and now here they are. And all of them are great. All of them are great leaders. All of them have served in higher up positions, and all of them are amazing people to work with. So, yes, that is all.
So I'm obligated. I'm just going to give you a series of words, and those of you that know the new Eagle Scouts can ask for the stories later. When Scouts are sitting around a fire and they want to tell jokes, Mr. Hilwick gets the best laugh. If you're hungry, just say Pop-Tart. If you don't know which direction to go, follow one of these three. Forever and ever and ever and ever, even if you have a compass. If you want dessert, don't eat what Mr. Hilwick made. On the serious side, we have 3 young ladies here that probably heard me say over and over and over again, lead, follow, or get out of the way. And all 3 of them took their turns leading, following, and getting out of the way. And they are the trailblazers for 1885, and a lot of the recruitment was done by them. They have set the bar really high for the Scouts behind them, and I'm very proud of all 3 of them.
So I have lots of summer camp stories, but I have 2 in particular that I'd like to tell, one about each of the other Eagle Scouts. For Abby, the very first summer camp we went to, we shared a tent, and it was kind of, it was kind of on a hill, and so propped up. Abby was on the side that was farther from the ground. So I wake up after, it was like the second day of camp, and I wake up, and, did you have a good sleep, and, whatever, and Abby looks at me and goes, I fell out of a tent last night. Then she goes on to detail the story of how she was, she must have been like rolling around in her sleep or something. The flaps of the big canvas tents are not tied to the wooden platform. So she must have been like thrashing in her sleep, fell out, landed on her hands. Her feet were still inside the tent and inside her sleeping bag. Abby was still stuck in her sleeping bag, but couldn't lift herself back up into the tent, so she had to worm her way out of the sleeping bag, fell ungracefully, as I'm told, onto the ground outside of the tent, and had to come back into the tent. I slept through the whole thing. I found out about this in the morning, but... The story, it was raining. Oh yes, it was raining. So it's a miracle that Abby went back again and continued to work at summer camp and go back again to Camp Cedars for another year. As for Ellie's first summer camp experience was in 2020. She was in Germany in 2019 when we went. And so there's another story in the rain. It was storming really badly. Was it our third night at camp? Something like that. Something like that. It wasn't bad enough for the whole camp to have to go into shelters, but Scoutmasters called it. We went into the storm shelter. So while Abby and I, with the help of a couple other scouts, were trying to keep everybody calm, singing camp songs, doing little skits, Ellie, the acting SPL, took it upon herself. She brought her chair into the shelter. She sat in the back room where the laundry machines are, just kind of curled up around a pillow, leaned her head up against a washing machine, and went to sleep. There's a picture of it. There are picture books. Yes, please go check it out. Anyways, those are some of my favorite camp stories. Ask us about camp stories. We'll keep talking forever.
So I need to thank Abby, Ellie, and Rebecca for helping me so much in the beginning of my journey as a scout. Without them, I probably wouldn't be as far as I was. They helped me a lot with advancement and explaining what everything was. And they introduced me to everybody, and they were really helpful. Thank you, guys.
Well, for those of you that don't know me, which is pretty much all of you, my name is Griffin. I work out with Abby and Rebecca out at Little Sioux Scout Ranch. And I'm not going to go into anything embarrassing, but we do have a lot of great memories, and I know that the kids out there that we teach and go around on hikes with and everything, Abby and Rebecca do a great job with all the kids. So, I mean, I don't know what else to really say, but congratulations, both Abby, Rebecca, and Ellie. Ellie, I don't know you that well, but congratulations to you too.
Anybody else?
Thanks, Anna. I don't have any embarrassing stories. I'm really sorry. I wish I did, because I'd love to share them. But I do have a very heartfelt thank you. I'm going to cry. I talk in front of people every day, but I cry when I have something really sincere I want to say. And that is, first of all, my amazing student, Rose. Thank you for welcoming us and telling us about the troop. My daughter and I, our first experience with the troop was we wanted to go camping. We're like, great, camping. We love camping. She loves camping. But we showed up and we were just blown away by the kindness and the generosity and the welcoming spirit of this troop. And I think that says a lot about your parents and who you are. But it also says a lot about the choices that you make and who you choose to be. So thank you, Rebecca, for being the amazing leader, and Ellie and Abby. But thank you also, Megan, for creating this space for these girls. I work in a middle school, and you have no idea what these girls go through. It's horrifying. Would you agree with us? What girls have to face? I mean, the cattiness and the cruelty sometimes that gets directed at them. And this is a space they go to where they don't have to deal with that. And I think that is largely thanks to your leadership. And I think you have set an amazing tone And I look forward to seeing what these young ladies do with what you've created and passing that on and expanding that, extending it to more people and more girls over the years. So thank you very much.
Hello. I did not know stories were happening, so I was not prepared. But when I heard that we were sharing stories, I immediately got these 3 memories of spending time with you guys. And Abby, with you, it was at summer camp when we were doing the kayaking merit badge. You fell out of the boat multiple times, but and I made fun of you a little bit. And in the end, right at the end of the game, I fell out of the kayak and had to swim all the way across the lake. But that was a really fun moment that I shared with you. And Ellie, for you, it was again at summer camp during lunch or dinner, I think, and you didn't have any ketchup. And so my mom had to give you her extra ketchup. And ever since that, every time that I have seen you, I've tried to give you ketchup. I'm sorry, I don't have any on me today, but I'll try next time. And Rebecca, with you, it was again at summer camp, and we were doing the paddle boat badge thing award, and you tried, and I knocked you off of your paddle boat, and so you tried to come up to my paddle boat and try and knock me off, and you were just pushing around my paddle board, and it was going right and left, and and it took you so long to knock me off the paddleboard, but eventually I fell in. And those are just 3 special memories that I had with you guys. And I'll miss seeing you guys every week once you guys go off to college. So, yeah, that's it.
Towards the beginning of our troop, we were renting a trailer from another troop, Troop 492, and there's a requirement where you have to take inventory of the first aid kit. So on one camp out, the 4 of us did that together, and we found some fairly strange things in this first aid kit. Among those, we found a singular match. Not a box of matches, just one match. A bar of scented hand soap from a hotel, and a bandage from 1970-something. 1972. So that memory just stands out to me. That was a moment that we bonded.
Plaster of Paris, too. Plaster of Paris?
Yep.
There were so many bandages you could treat like a, I don't know.
No embarrassing stories. I mean, got a few, and we'll get some more coming up. But I just, as one of your Scoutmasters, wanted to say, first of all, thank you to the 3 of you. You look at the people that are in this audience tonight, and your fingerprints, the 3 of you, your fingerprints are all over this troop. And it's been amazing what's been created. The legacy that the 3 of you leave behind you, you should be very, very proud of. Because you know, I know it's been mentioned here already, but you set the bar very, very high, which is not a bad thing. And But it's the fun that has been infused into this, and it's special, it's unique. And so thank you for your involvement in that and the ways that all three of you have brought your unique skills and your personalities into this. Second, it's been really fun to watch the three of you grow. You were all at various stages when you first joined, and it's been really neat to watch the journey and to watch the different ways that you've developed. And for each one of you, it's been different. And I mean, I could tell stories or comments or things like that, but it's been a privilege to watch, and it's been a privilege to be a part of it. And just wanted to tell all three of you that I'm very proud of you for what you've accomplished.
Just going to do one last call. Are there any others who would like to share? Okay. Would the SPL Rachel Lunt please come forward for closing flags?
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the closing ceremony. Color guard forward, march. Color guard halt. Scout salute. Retrieve the colors. 2. Color guard, return to your post. Everyone, please be seated. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and once again offer my congratulations to Abby, Ellie, and Rebecca for their achievements. We invite everyone present to come forward to congratulate the new Eagle Scouts and their parents and to view the Eagle Scouts memorabilia in the Commons area. Thank you for joining us today.